Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today we have another special guest out of the University of Wisconsin. He will be in the 2022 draft this year. Out of the University of Wisconsin, cornerback Faion Hicks. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you was one of my for the last 2 years. You've been one of my favorite guys to watch play, and I don't watch a lot of Big Ten football, but of course I enjoy watching you. And some about you know what? It's some about defensive backs I can always get a hold of. Last year I did Israel. Like I can always get a hold of a DB. There's some other cats, man, I can't get a hold of, man. Even one of my first interviews I did, man, was Eric Davis.
Okay.
Used to play for the 49ers. He went to Jacksonville State, got drafted by the 49ers, won a Super Bowl with the 49ers, played with the Carolina Panthers. So some like I told you, something about corners, man. I can always get a hold of a corner. My first question for you today is what made you choose Wisconsin?
It's crazy. Knowing me being from Miami, I get that question a lot. Coach Leonard, he was like really the one who started it all. He reached out to me.
Okay.
He was like, "Hey, what you know about Wisconsin?" And I told him, I'm like, "Man, I can't even point y'all out on the map, Coach. I don't know nothing about Wisconsin."
Okay, where that's at?
I thought it was in the middle of nowhere. So, they wanted to get up for a visit. It's like my senior year, them versus Ohio State at home.
Okay.
And they lost that game, but man, just to kind of see the campus and the city it was in, the town, it's a real deal college town, man. That's kind of something I wanted to be part of. I want to be part of, a program that had a lot of tradition behind it, and Wisconsin definitely had that. And then on top of that, just talking with Coach Chris and Coach Leonard, and seeing the type of program they was, a blue collar program. They win every year. It's not often you'll see them have a losing season. Like that's something that happened there. We gonna always finish above 500, and with that and seeing that even walk-ons got a chance to play at that program, so I knew it was a program that no matter what, if you just work hard, you're gonna get a chance. And I'm like, okay, I know if I come here, no matter what happens, as long as I put in the work, I'm gonna get my chance, and that's all I needed.
You most definitely did that. I'm glad. You know what? You look better in 1 than 20. You look better. You look better. You look better than 1. Hey man, and look, you coming in the league the right time where you can get a single digit number. I know. Back in the day, if you wore 1 or 2, you're not wearing that in the pros unless you're a quarterback. But now you may get an opportunity to still, keep your number. So let me ask you this. Once you got to Wisconsin, what did you notice first, the difference between, being in college and high school? You could take that wherever you want to take it.
I'll probably say when I really noticed the difference was how they practice. Man, okay. It was fast paced. I came to Wisconsin early, so I graduated early, and I came in the springtime.
Okay.
And I wanted to do spring football, so I remember my first practice. Man, I was like, "Dang, we gonna get a water break?" They was like, "Nah, you get water on the go." Like, you feel me? Like it's fast paced, and I realized, man, they take advantage of every minute that they have with you, man. And they value time within the practice. You want to take advantage of everything, and reps matter. In high school, everybody get reps, and you kind of chill after a certain period or whatnot. But when I got to college, it was fast paced, man. The game was fast, so it took me a while to kind of adjust to that. Just kind of like slow myself down too, because when you first get it, you're like, "Oh man, I'm in college," like, so everything kind of moving fast for you. But like I had to slow everything. And then once I got used to the pace of practice, man, things just started slowing down for me, man. But yeah, I'd probably say it's how you practice.
It's practice. What was it? What was that like also for you, far as dealing with time management, far as In high school, you see coach after school, right? You're going to practice, and you get to college, like you see coach before classes, and then you gotta deal with that. You got to deal with study hall. You got to how was all that transition for you, having to maneuver all those new things?
I'm not gonna lie, I struggled with it at first.
Okay.
With time management, especially a senior in high school, I was done with all my classes. I was kind of chilling my last year in high school. I was more focused on football and graduated early and hurried and getting to college. And then not realizing I was kind of building bad habits going into my freshman year. So like when I went, like I said, I left early, so I'm really still supposed to be in high school.
Right.
So, I'm going there thinking like, okay, it's for me, it ain't gonna be that hard, man. Just dealing with the classes. You got practice early morning. And then as soon as you're done practice, you gotta hurry up and go to class. And then college classes is different from high school. The teachers kind of more lean with you in high school, but college,
right,
you kind of on your own. They give you the work. You gotta you pretty much teaching yourself at that point. So, I'm in there just thinking like, oh, okay, whatever, but like not realizing like it's really up to you to take in the information and do what you want with it, like as far as studying and putting in time. So I went in there just focus on football, not realizing I got to put in that time with school too. So I struggled at first. My first semester, I struggled a lot, with academics and stuff like that. But Wisconsin, good program.
Okay.
They put me with a mentor. They put me extra tutors and all types of stuff and it helped me a lot. And I excelled after that first semester.
Yeah, I can imagine because it was funny you say that, and the reason I was laughing because, well, I didn't go to college. I went to broadcasting school, but when my daughter went to West Georgia, and I said, "Look, now this gonna be different. Like they just gonna tell you when the work is due. Nobody's if you don't do it, you don't do it. It ain't like anybody's gonna be like, hey, where's the work? Or nobody's gonna remind you like, hey, not Friday. Remember Friday? That's what you get in high school. You get that reminder. Like nah, like you want to be grown. We gonna treat you like you grown. So it's good to finally hear someone say, dealing that a ball, being a ball player, and you have not only are you adjusting to the practice habits, the speed of practicing at a major university. Now you got to deal with also class. You got to adjust to time management, when to eat, when you got to. It's a whole lot of different stuff. And then I'm sure culture difference too, from Florida to Wisconsin. Not even just the weather, but just people just are different. Different. Yeah. So you had to deal with that.
Yeah, that's right. It was times where I was the only black kid in a lecture of like hundreds of students. So definitely, like I said, being from Florida, you can always be around, people of color and stuff like that. So just that, dealing with that, that was kind of crazy because I can't mind. I'm looking around like, damn, where are the black people at?
Did you feel I'm glad you. Let me ask you this. This is a side question. I want to ask you since you said that. I'm just asking. Did you feel like at that time, like being one of the only few, African American blacks in class, whatever class it was, did you feel like students looking at you like, okay, he got to be an athlete? Like that's the only. Did you kind of feel like they looked at you like that?
Yeah, definitely, and that's why I took it upon myself. Like, I'm all right. I ain't gonna wear no athletic gear to class, none of that, because I ain't want that perception. He only here for football and stuff like that. So I always made it my point that, real regular clothes to class. I kind of wanted to separate myself from that. I ain't want no attention, nothing like that. I just kind of want to come in and do my work. But definitely people will, they automatically be like, okay, he must be here for sports and stuff like that. But one thing I can say though, man, Wisconsin, the professors, they ain't care if you play football or not. They gonna want that work done.
Oh yeah, the professors, nah, ain't no shorts. You gotta get that work. You gotta get that work. Yeah. When did you feel like, yeah, I can play at this level? When did that moment you was like, yeah, I'm here now. I'm here?
When was that moment? I'll probably say I'll probably say like probably like third game into my freshman year. So because I redshirted that year, they didn't have the redshirt rule. You get 4 games.
Right.
I played a little bit during spring, and I was doing pretty decent. Not up to my standard. Everybody else. I remember coach telling me, "I mean, you doing good." My mom, I'm like, I'm getting cooked out there, coach. But I guess coach kind of saw like the potential in me, and at that point, I was just relying strictly off my athletic ability, just going out, and then my spring ended up getting cut short because I had a shoulder surgery, so I didn't come back until the following camp. I was still kind of limited, and then I remember we had a bye week, and usually during bye weeks is when the young guys get a lot of reps, and that's when I was like finally full go. I had a lot of time to kind of sit back and watch the older guys.
Okay.
We had some really good corners that year too, like Nick Nelson, Derek Tyndall. So just watching those guys, and then that bye week, I took advantage of it. With the reps that I got, and I had a real good bye week, and that's when I realized, like, man, like, okay, like I could play at this level. And then I remember I'm up in the office watching extra films. I always watch extra film at the practice. I remember Coach didn't come up to me. He was like, man, he's like, next year, the corner spot open because we had 2 seniors. He was like, man, I'm not going to give it to you, but he's like, man, like, go ahead and take the starting position. Like, you're showing some good things. And that's when I kind of like knew, like, okay, like, yeah, like I'm ready. So
that's good that you went through the growing pains, because I think sometimes, and let me know if I'm wrong, because trust me, I'm older, man. I'm 50, so yeah. I mean, as far as I'm just not in your generation, but do you feel like sometimes everybody's trying to get to the league, trying to get to the bag, right, that they're missing the process on how to get better? And then especially, you see it in basketball, it's like, man, the NBA ain't going anywhere. And it's like, I understand leaving early football because of the violence of the game, right? So you and I both know that. But it's like, you could get better, right? Because how many times lately have we seen guys win in the first round, but you can't find them in the NBA? You're like, dude, where that dude at? And he's either down in the G League or he's just sitting on the bench. So yeah, so do you feel like that a lot of times guys are just trying to get to the league in their prospective sports so fast that they miss the process on trying to get better, so when they do get to the next level, they're better prepared?
Yeah, it depends. Don't get me wrong, like some guys, they definitely be ready at a earlier than others, but there are times where guys are in a rush. Shoot, my freshman year, I had to plan where I wanted to leave early too. That's the thing, you want to do 3 years and out, be the best and get to that bag.
Right.
But, honestly, redshirting was the best thing for me. It gave me a chance to really like sit back and learn and learn from other people's mistakes. Coach could have easily threw me in the fire early, but when I look back at it, I wasn't ready. As much as I told myself I was ready at that time, just looking back at it and seeing how I developed after starting for 4 years, I'm like, man, like I can imagine going out there trying to play, as a freshman, man, not even knowing what I know, later on.
Right.
So, there's a lot of things I try to tell guys, even the young guys in the program, man, who be itching to play. I be telling them, like, okay, like you don't want to be so in the rush to play that you're on the field, but you're not even ready to be there. You want to hit that field and put out the strictly good tape. Because there's a lot of guys who play and they're not that good. And so I'll be telling them, like, man, don't be in a rush to hit the field just to say you hit the field, but like take it in, learn from other people. So when you do hit the field, man, you ain't doing nothing but balling.
Yeah, no, you know what, man, I'm glad you said that, because that's what I was talking about. Like, I've had friends, nephews, I've had different people who were ready to play, went off and like, man, I'm ready to play. They're like, bro, you ain't ready. Oh, come on, huh? I was like, listen, think about the red shirt. What you not understanding is, yeah, you're a freshman in the classroom, but when you do step on the field, you'll be a redshirt freshman. But the classroom, you'll be a sophomore. You're head of the game. You can get your degree early. I say they paying for it. Might as well get it while you're there. They pay, you know what I mean? Like they paying for it. So I say it works out. Then it gives you another year to get stronger, faster. Like you said, kind of let the game come to you, let it slow down to you. Now you have more expectations of what the coach expects of you, right? You done learned the campus. You kind of get adjusted. So I'm glad you said that. Like you said, some people are ready. They ready to go get it. And I always say, if you're ready to go, go. But I just feel like sometimes that we're trying to chase the bag so quick. Like I give you a prime example. When I started this podcast, man, 2 years ago, I interviewed Chris Broussard. And he told me, he said, man, everybody's so busy trying to get on Fox or ESPN and want to sit where I'm sitting or want to sit where Stephen A is sitting. And he said, you have a podcast. He said, you know what most guys forget to do? I said, nah, what's that? He said, they forget to be great at what they're doing at that point in time. And they start skipping levels. They started skipping, and then you never get to your end goal because you forgot to be great where you were. So that's why I appreciate you saying that, which is segue beautifully into my next question, which was, what game did you play in that you felt like I just put NFL scouts on notice? Like they know now.
Hey, that's tough. Let me think, man. Shoot, I'll probably say Notre Dame last year.
Okay.
I had like 4 PBUs in like one game. I didn't even finish the whole game. I think I left like they took me out like third quarter. I had an injury, but I was having a hell of a game, man. 4 PBUs, and that was just in 3 quarters. I probably would have finished more if I would have played the whole game, but I'll probably say definitely that game, man. I had a great game. That one, and I'll probably say Purdue versus David Bell.
Mm-hmm.
He was coming off the game we had 250 yards. So
Okay.
I remember going to the week, man. There was a lot of hype, surrounding him.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much told coach like, shoot, like I'm gonna follow him.
Okay.
All eyes on him. That's what I wanted. I'm like, what better way to put film out there to the scouts? A guy coming off of 250 yards versus the number 2 team in the country, and follow him every game, man. And so following that week, I followed him the whole game. He finished the game with like 3 for 13 yards. So I'd probably say definitely Purdue game versus David Bell.
One of the things I like about your game is your trail technique. You trail in a way where you make the quarterback either that ball's got to be like outstretched, where either you're going to have to dive to pick it or dive to knock it down, because unlike some corners, you're not afraid to, like when you're trailing, because you're looking at like, really, I'm not beat. You think I'm beat. Actually, let me ask you this, because Eric Davis said this to me. He said, what people don't understand about a corner, what's difficult about for playing the corner position is the acting job that Faion has to do. You see the play, you study all week, and you sitting there like, oh, I know what they're getting ready to do. Now, the acting part is you can't tip your hat that you know what they're going to do. You got to act like you don't know, just so the quarterback can feel like, all right, I'm going to go at him. And then at the same time, then you have to go make the play.
Nah, definitely. It'd be moments like, especially like if you want to disguise the cover, say you're in cover 2, but you want to show that to the man. So like sometimes with teams, when they see you off, they like to throw the quick ball, they like to throw the hitch or the curl. So if you're in cover 2, you gotta show that you playing man, but sometimes guys get a little too happy and they show it, and the quarterback don't end up throwing it, man. But it's definitely a lot that goes into corner, man. I feel like corner is probably one of the hardest positions outside of quarterback in the game right now, especially with the way the rules are leaning towards more.
Oh man.
in the corner. But and that's what ain't like that's what made me fall in love with corner, man. It's a chess match. It's tough. Not anybody can play it for real, man. That's why everybody need corners because it's hard. It ain't easy to go out there and cover somebody one on one playing backwards and not knowing what the next person doing. So
And keep your composure. Like far as say a guy got a step on you, he may have a step on you, but maybe the ball is not thrown accurately. So you still can't panic to the point where you like, let me just tackle the dude. You know what I mean? Like you
that's definitely something I had to work on early in my game. I remember Coach Lynn told me like, man, like you fast. He's like, don't worry about a guy running past you. Like, it's not many dudes in college that can run past you. So he was like, that's what made me like get so good at the trail technique and press and getting comfortable just being hip to hip or just maybe a slight step behind is knowing that okay, like this guy not gonna run past me. I can mess up at the line and still catch up with my makeup speed, and that's what helped my game and helped me be confident a lot. You know, especially like in the back end of 2 years of my career, man, was just. I remember Collision used to tell me all the time, like, slow down, man. They not going to run past. And he's like, move fast. He's like, just trust your speed, man. Once you trust your speed, everything goes to slow down for you.
Yeah, because a lot of times I've seen that where I'm saying, man, if the DB would just, turned around, look back, he doesn't realize that he's actually in the play. Like you're in the play. Like you said, your coach was telling you about your technique, the trail, because you're in the play, but you not you, but I'm just saying corners in general are so nervous that a dude who just got a step on you. Now you just you're like, bruh, you ain't got. Yeah, it's like if you just turn around, like keep running, but if you just turn around, the ball, and you know for yourself, sometimes there's nothing you can do. It's just a well-placed ball. You play, you did everything. It's just a well-placed ball, and so. Yeah, playing corner, man. When Eric broke that down to me and said, "Man, you gotta, you watching the quarterback, so it's not just it." And then I tell you, and I know you mentioned like playing cover 2 or cover 3, right? Can really get on your nerves because it's like I'm supposed to ride this guy for 10 yards and then release him. Your boy behind you forget y'all playing zone.
Yeah,
You turn around, the ball count, and on everybody thinking, what is Faion doing, man? Why he didn't got beat deep? And you sitting there like, bruh, we probably playing a song. Don't be trying to charge that to me.
Wow, especially with social media nowadays, man.
Yeah.
I had a lot, dog. But it'd be a play where it's not even on you. You just saving the day, you making the tackle. And everybody thinks you, so you come after the game, you get to your phone and everybody just roast you. Like, man, that's not even my fault.
I was on the other side.
But you gotta, hey, that's what comes with being a corner, man.
Come with the territory, yeah.
Nobody see us, man. At the end of the day, so.
It go. Look, don't nobody want to talk about. Like, I remember watching you a couple of times. And I said, he must be doing his job because I can't find him on the field. Like, because, the camera, when you're watching the game, it's not like it's just focused on you. And so it's like, I'm sitting there, man, show my boy Hicks, where he at? And I'm like, okay, he must be doing his job because if they ain't showing him, then that means that guy is not open. So he's doing his job. Once you played your last college game, what has the process been like for you, getting ready for this upcoming NFL draft?
Yeah, it's definitely been, even though it's only been a couple months, man, it feels long as heck, because it's always a waiting game. Really, preparing for pro day, that's a process itself. Because you spend about 2 to 3 months for the biggest job interview of your life, pretty much. And you want to get everything down, whether it's test numbers, interviews, knowledge of the game from whenever like coach put you on the board.
Mm-hmm.
You really just tapping into a different side of yourself physically too. The schedule, prepping for the combine and pro day, man, is tough. I was working out like 3 to 4 times a day. Whether it was, in the mornings I'm doing field work for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Your little break, you gotta eat, meal prep. Then you gotta hit the weight room for another 2 hours. Then you get another little break, and then you gotta do maintenance, recovery for like another 2 to 3 hours. And then I was doing like Pilates and stuff afterwards too, like just
Oh,
for
that's good. Oh, okay, good.
so I'll do that like every day, and that was like another hour itself, hour or two. And this was like every day, so I'm waking up at like 5:30. I ain't getting back to my room probably to like 8 o'clock, 8:30. So it was a lot of long days, but like, man, my whole goal was, when pro day come, man, it was crushing because I didn't get a combine invite, so I definitely
I
had to
know.
check.
So I was like, I was looking for you. I was looking for you, and I didn't see you. But then on my timeline, you went viral
Yeah,
because they was talking about Wisconsin Pro Day, and they was like Hicks. It was, I forgot who else they mentioned, but your name came up first. It was like, dude, he ran a sub 4.3 something. I said, oh, my boy didn't put it down. That Florida, I said that Florida speed that showed up because trust me, I know you've heard, I know already that people feel like people in the Big Ten can't run. They're
yeah.
not they're not fast. They'll give it to Ohio State. That's okay. Well, okay, they usually have some receivers or a running back, and then they'll say everybody else just they can't. But it's like, yo, dude from Florida, you got it twisted.
Coming out, man, that was like the main thing. Like I said, I had an extra year with COVID, and just talking with my coach and stuff, and the guy that deals with the scouts and stuff, just like, hey, like, should I come back to school? And the only question they had was my speed. And there's like, man, the only question you got is the speed. And he's like, what you think you're gonna run in the 40? I'm like, I'm gonna run 4 better. Like, I know I'm fast, you feel me? So,
Right.
and then once they told me that was the only question, I was like, I'm gone. Okay, like that's the only question. I know I can prove that. And a lot of scouts thought I was gonna run close to like 4.5, like mid 4.5. And I didn't understand it because it didn't show up in my game that I was slow. But like you said, man, everybody just kept saying, "Oh, you playing the Big Ten."
The
They
Big
think
Ten, yeah, trust me, I know, man.
so I'm just like, why is that a stigma? You feel me? So they just kept saying that's like all I was hearing from scouts and stuff. And my position coach, man, they just feel like you're in the Big Ten. You slow, blah blah. So I'm like, man, all right. So like I said, I just had that chip on my shoulder, man. And pro day came, I ran 4.37, man,
I'm
and
about
it
to
just
say
kept
you
me.
didn't run with the chip on your shoulder. You couldn't have the speed, but I can tell you where that came from though. So
Yeah.
one year, Ohio State was in the national championship game, and they were playing Florida, and that was Tim Tebow team. So Percy Harvin and all the cat that speed, that speed was just totally,
That's
totally.
different. That's different right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it was always, and then when you see, even though they're not in the Big Ten, but when you see Auburn plays Oregon, right? So then you see how big Auburn players are, but then you see the speed at the same time. So it's always been that thing. And then you saw this year, Georgia just ran Michigan at, so you see what I'm saying? So it becomes a thing where people are like, so, and with you showing, and that, of course that's unfair. I mean, it's just a stereotype, but you prove like, nah, bro, nah, I'm not from Wisconsin. I went to Wisconsin. I'm not from Wisconsin. And
Right.
two, I think too, the second part is for you to understand is that, so if anybody decides to go to Big Ten, I mean, there's nothing wrong. You're still going to a Power 5 conference school. Also, you guys get different weather in the heart of the season. So like if somebody coming to Wisconsin, it's cold. If somebody going to Iowa, it's cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cold. And let's be honest, and that, well, it's hard to run a 4.3, wind out there blowing.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's like I said, it get cold. It be like 30 degrees outside. You ain't running no 4.3 in 30-degree weather.
He ain't running no 4.3, which is fine because the receiver ain't running the 4.3 either. So we gonna be right here together.
Yeah.
How the question I have for you, and is kind of jumping back a little bit, but how did you feel your freshman year when you got to Wisconsin, right? and you're not seeing your family every day, what you was accustomed. For 12 years, you go to school, come home, the family is there, right? And all of a sudden now you at school, but when you get home, the family ain't there. What kind of adjustment was that for you?
Um, it was a big adjustment. I probably say it definitely hit me Thanksgiving. That's when it really hit when you ain't got mama's cooking.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that'll do it, but that'll. Whew.
yeah, and that's when it really like I'm like, dang man, you start missing holidays, even like Christmas because bowl games and stuff like that. But, definitely just like those little holidays with the family cooking and family get together. You at school practicing. Those were like the tough days. It was like, dang, okay, like man, I miss my family, man. But being around your brothers though, your teammates, that's what
Mm-hmm.
kind of make up for it. Cause
Okay.
y'all all going to do it together.
Right.
Especially a guy like me, man. I'm all in Wisconsin. That's so far away from Miami, so my parents ain't hopping on every flight. Every chance they get, to come see me. So like, somebody got a mom or something that come up and cook for us. Somebody that always make it, that much special. But it's definitely hard being away from your family. Even when you with them for a large part of your life, when you going so far away from home, and they not able to just come see you whenever they can. So that's definitely tough.
What what would you say, how did your mom treated you and when I say treated you, in the sense of how was your family for you? You're at school, you're doing your thing now. The NFL looks like a possibility. The whisper star. The boy may go pro, right? Were you able to still come home and just be, Faion? Yeah, I understand you play college ball and all that, but just, or were people starting to treat you a little bit different?
It's a mix of both, but I keep a small circle though, man. Definitely, my parents, they very proud parents, man. Any chance they get, they want to tell, hey, my baby play football. Every time I be out to tell them, like, hey, like, all right, don't tell nobody I play football.
Okay, I'm trying to walk in the store and come on back out.
And like I said, to them, man, they just proud of me, man. But
Good.
for me, it's like, okay, people start treating you different when they know you play football and stuff like that. So I be having to tell my mom, like, hey, no, I don't tell nobody I play football. I want to see how they treat me without them knowing. But like I said, it's a mix of both, man. But I feel like my family though, they do a good job of always like keeping me grounded. Um,
That's good. That's good.
that's how I want it, man. I would want it, in no other way. But at the end of the day, man, when I come home, I be telling them like I'm me. I don't want to talk about football all the time. I do that enough. So, so I appreciate them for that, man. Like I said, just keep me grounded. Always remind me where I come from, and just being, like it was when I was in high school. So
That's why I asked that question. So because you want to be in a situation where you always know where home is. Like,
yeah,
if you can go in the league and get 2 picks in a day and come home and Pop talking about, hey, I need you to cut the grass or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you home. If
yeah,
if people start treating you different, you like, man, wait a minute, I already got the world trying to treat me.
yeah,
I need to know where home is.
yeah.
So
Because
that's good.
like think about it, say if a person come home from work and they got somebody, talking about what they did at work, you like, man, I ain't trying to talk about what I
Man,
messed up at work.
ain't nobody trying to talk about work, man. Get off work, man. I'm done with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
man.
good that you're that way, man. It's gonna serve you well because you always be like, football is what I do, but it's not who I am. And so many
Yeah.
guys, when they finish playing, they have an identity crisis because they don't
Mhm.
know who they are because they identify what they did and who they are. So long as you're always able to, to separate the two, right? It'll allow you to walk away from the game when you want to, and it'll allow you also to, you say, okay, I played ball, but I was never ball. That's just what I did, but it's not who I am.
Definitely. I learned about that. Like I said, kudos to Wisconsin, man. It was like me and a couple other players
Hmm.
one year. We went to a Black Student Athlete Summit down
Okay.
at the University of Texas. Um, it was like I think it's like a weekend. Pretty much you go there. It's nothing
Hmm.
but other Black student athletes from PWIs. and and they kind of talk about it. They had a whole bunch of black professionals and different types of workplaces. So
Sure.
there was doctors, lawyers, all types of stuff. And the one and that's when I kind of first learned about the whole identity crisis that
Okay.
athletes deal with after leaving their sport, because not everybody go to the NFL.
Right.
And when you're in college, you so focused on making, I gotta get to league, I gotta get to league. And when it happens, when you gotta retire from it, you stuck with like, okay, what's next? And like I said, my first 2 years in
Okay.
college, I was so focused on just making it to the league. Like that was just my whole focus. I wanted, and when I went to that summit, it hit me. I was like, dang, like if football wasn't in tomorrow, like what would I do?
What would you do? Yeah.
And I couldn't answer that question. That's when I was like, you know what? All right, I need to start, you know, I'm always focused on football and making it to the league, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I need to start, looking at other things. Like, what else am I interested in? Because this not gonna last forever, and I don't want to deal with that when that time comes, because it's gonna come sooner or later. Whether it happens after college or it happens 6 to 8 years, in
Right.
the league, it's gonna come, sooner or later. Because 6 years not a long time. If you really think about it.
What is?
As athletes,
Go ahead.
like as athletes, we retire at a young age. Like
Yep.
30. That's young. Some people just not getting into the prime of their profession at that age, and we retiring. So I was like, you know what, man, let me look at other things. So when that time do come, I ain't scrambling. So whatever, I'm at peace. I know I can move on. So
Yeah, because you can work on that when you're in the league and when you have the platform, right? And the team that you have around you, you can start working on those things. Like on the off season, seeing, like you said, what you want, putting structure, putting all those things, like you said, in place. So then when you are ready to walk away from the game, whenever that is, right? I mean, you can play 20 years, doesn't matter. But when you're ready to work, because I tell people this joke, I say, man, Tom Brady went home, started dealing with the kids 24/7. Tom like, man, I'm going back. I'm gonna play another year. I can't Tom like, I can't do this. She got a list for me to do. Talking about take the trash out. Tom like, you know what? I'm going back. What are your plans for the draft?
Man, it's gonna be me and the fam, man, watching it just like every other year, man, on the couch, chilling, waiting for
Okay.
that call. I ain't want to party, I ain't want, I only want the people who was really there for me there, man. Like I said, I'm not really into the hype.
Right.
It's strictly business, man. Like I said, I'm definitely enjoying the moment, but I'm only gonna enjoy it with the ones that was part of it. You feel me? So it's gonna be small, me, my mom, my dad's siblings, grandma, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Have some good food and kick it on the couch and watch it, man. And wait for that call.
Well, once you get that call, man, trust me, I'm gonna hit you up and just to tell you congratulations. And then what I will love to do is um, once before you go to training camp, I want to try to bring, if I can, I got to work the schedules. I want to try to bring you back and pair you up with a name you may know, Ryan McNeil.
Okay.
Played at the University of Miami. Played cornerback, played for the Jets, and he actually lives in Atlanta. And so want to try to get you on with him, maybe let him share, just some wisdom to prepare you for, training camp and stuff, get you going so you can put your best, foot forward, man. We're rooting for you, man. Like I said, we want to bring you back on. So keep it light, man. Just stay home. I'm just gonna say, just stay home, man. Don't even go nowhere, man. Just stay home, because as you know, we've just seen strange things happen, man. Just before the draft, stuff comes out, stuff gets leaked, stuff happens, and I don't want that for you, man. So just stick next, close to mom. Only other advice I would give you before we sign off, man, is any girl you think you like, you halfway love, whatever, bring her home, leave her with mama.
Yep.
Leave it with mama. Leave it with mama, grandmama, and all that. Listen, if they tell you to take her back, then take her back. If they don't like her, bro, look, I ain't talking about take her back tomorrow. I'm talking about take her back that same. So, man, continue to stay blessed and stay safe, man. And we'll be watching on draft day as well.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
All right. Peace, man.